short. Okay. Today, the topic is for great elements, and we can link it with the 32 body parts. Because sometimes when you look at the 32 body part, you think it's very troublesome. Troublesome, why? Have to remember so many body parts. So instead of just trying to remember them, maybe we can just sum up them into 4 great elements. No, then it make our task easy, right? Instead of remember 32, we just remember, oh, hardness, softness is earth. Watery is water element. Hot and cold is fire element. Then the supporting motion is wind element, right? It really solve the problem, right? But actually, Visuddhimagga also recommend like this. Okay. So today, I think I need you all to read for me because today very busy, hectic work. It's very hectic for me today. All right. So before we go, jump into the topic. So we still need to do some revision. Why? What's the purpose of revision? Is because when we are learning the new things, we need to build the new knowledge based on the old knowledge. That means they link the new knowledge with the old knowledge. So it will strengthen the old knowledge and it will make the new knowledge easier to remember. So, okay, now we know there are 4 guardian meditation. We already chant the Buddhanusati, we chant the Metta. Just now we chant the Asubha. All right, just now we also chant the Marananusati. So you see, these are 4 that we should practice anytime. Now the question is, when we look at these 4, we don't see the 4 great elements in them, right? There are no 4 great elements in this. But when we look at the samatha, yes, there are 4 great elements. In samatha practice, let me make it, okay. Let me make it small. In samatha practice is called, it's called Chatu Dhatu Vavatana. Chatu is 4, Dhatu is element, Vavatana is definition. In Vipassana, it's called Dhatu. Okay, Dhatu is really the meaning of, like we say, like Ayatana is base, Dhatu is element. So Manasikala here is, Manasi is actually for Pali, it's we call it Manas is mind, Si is making in the mind, Kara. So 4 great elements, in fact, we call it, how we call it, paying attention on the elements. Direct translation. So Dhatu Manasikala in Vipassana under the Kayanupassana, the contemplation of body, or in Samatha it called Chatu Dhatu Vavatana. So this kind of meditation is good because it can go both ways. When you focus on it single-handedly as one object is Samatha. But when you try to see Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, then it becomes Vipassana. So I like this kind of meditation because it's both ways. As said just now, if you think that 32 body part is too much for you, 32 has to remember, so it can be summed up as 4 great elements. Okay, so now this is a old knowledge you already learned before. So let's go for the new knowledge, all right? I think today I need you all to read for me. Okay. Chatu Dhatu Vavatana. Analysis of 4. Yeah, okay, for those Pali students, Chatu is 4, Dhatu is element. Now, we don't have the word great here. Great, you can put lemon, right? But it's understood. Vavatana is analysis or definition. So I put all the numbers here is according to Visuddhimagga. So it's good when you need to refer, you can refer there. Normally in Visuddhimagga, it will be combination of how many information you have. Pali and Abhidhamma point and Vipassana point. So Visuddhimagga actually is a very good book. It's really a very good teacher for you all. Here, this is a more on Pali, Vavatana. So characterizing individual essence, the compound Chatu Dhatu Vavatana is resolved into Chatunam Dhatunam genitive plural Vavatana. So this is a Pali definition. Then Visuddhimagga 27. It's important to refer to the sutta. So in Visuddhimagga, you find the Pali, you find reference to the sutta. So it's good because if you are interested, please go to the sutta, Mahasatipatthana Sutta, And Mahahati Pada Upama. Right? So Mahahati, if you pronounce, okay, I'll just give you the Pali. Maha is great, Hati is an elephant. Pada is a footprint. Upama, from the word you, Upama is a simile. So literally this sutta means the simile of footprint, great footprint of elephant, right? It's like, what you say that it's like the footprint of elephant, in the world, we call it the largest animal is so far I think on the earth will be elephant or by dinosaur, but we don't see dinosaur. So like the footprint of the largest animal will be very big. So it means that a lot of sutta, a lot of dhamma can be included in this sutta, just like a footprint of an elephant can be included, can include many things. And this is called Maharahula. Maha, great. Rahula is the Buddha's son. Ovada, admonishment to the Rahula. So I think there are two sutta. One is Chula, one is Maha in the Majjhima Nikaya, and Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta. So this sutta actually very nice to read. In fact, if you read this sutta, it's like you come to know a lot of Abhidhamma point. It's like different analysis about different elements and so on. Right? So Visuddhimagga is given brief in Mahasatipatthana Sutta. For one who of quick understanding, whose meditation subject is element as follow. So what he's trying to say is like quick understanding. If your wisdom is sharp, so instead of going through the 32 body part one by one, it's too much already for people who have sharp mind. They think it's a long journey, all right? So if your wisdom is sharp, maybe you just go for 4 great elements. That's the meaning. Right? Now, okay, I put the sutta here, this Mahasatipatthana Sutta, because it's good to learn Visuddhimagga together with sutta. And it really proves that Visuddhimagga is not, because some, I think Thai tradition, they don't accept Visuddhimagga. In Myanmar, Visuddhimagga is considered a must for meditator. I heard most of the Thai people, Thai monk, they don't follow Visuddhimagga because they say it's not the Buddha's text. But if you look at the reference to all the sutta, you find that actually Visuddhimagga is based on many Buddha sutta. Okay, now this sutta. Okay, so right, so this for those who love the Pali, you can look at it. Okay, now start with Thomas. You want to read the Pali? Want to try? Okay, try to read Pali. This
The
one.
Pali, I can try.
Yeah. All right, good.
Analogy. Seyatapi bhikkhave. Dakko gogatako va gogataka kantevasi va gavim. Vaditva chatuma hapate vilaso. Vipajitva ninsino assa. Evameva ko bhikkhave bhikkhu imameva kayam yatatitam yatapanihitam dhatuso pachavekati atti imasing kaye patavidatu apodatu tejodatu vayodatu ti. Mnemonic patavi apotejo vayo. Bhikkhus. Just as though a skilled butcher or butcher's apprentice had killed a cow and were seated at the crossroads with it cut up into pieces, so too, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu reviews this body, however placed, however disposed, as consisting of elements. In this body, there are the earth element, the water element, the fire element, and the air element.
Okay. Okay. Can you give a short analysis?
It's just similar talking that everybody is consisting of the 4 great elements, same as if you see like a animal, a butchered animal in pieces, in small pieces, cut in pieces.
Okay. Not yet. Before cutting into pieces, right? After cutting, it will be 4 great elements. All right. So you can see here simile, Okay, thank you, Thomas. Now, in many suttas, Buddha gives simile. And the simile of butcher kill the cow and cut to pieces. Why is it give simile? Because it is try to relate to something that you seen in your life for the people at the Buddha's time. So easy for them to see the cow, and then because they have the cow, they lead the cow after that being cut to pieces by the butcher and so on. So then they will review the body. All right. First is like you have the example, means that you see it apply outside. Then you apply in your own body. However, place, yada tita. Place means that actually tida means however exists or paninam disposed. Means that your body, no matter in what position and in what manner. I mean, this because this is translated from Pali, it sounds easy to understand. Means that your body in whatever sitting or walking or standing for great position or in whatever manners, like you bend the body, you shake the head or whatever. So all these are composed of 4 great elements. So there will be earth, water, fire. Now, normally we say wind element or we say air element. It's also can, no problem. Okay. Now, after the Buddha said this, and this sentence is a stop phrase. Stop phrase means that you repeat many times under this one. So actually, this part is much more on vipassana, right? Okay, Thomas, you can read this one. Yeah.
In this way, he remains focused internally on the body in and of itself, or externally on the body in and of itself, or both, internally and externally on the body in and of itself. Or he remains focused on the phenomenon of origination with regard to the body, on the phenomenon of passing away with regard to the body, or on the phenomenon of origination and passing away with regard of the body. Or his mindfulness that there is a body is maintained to the extent of knowledge and remembrance, and he remains independent, unsustained, by not clinging to anything in the world. This is how a monk remains focused on the body in and of itself.
Okay. So this part is vipassana, especially when you read the Satipatthana. In the Kayanupassana, Vedana, Chitta, and Dhamma is repeated this vipassana point. So means that you can see just now earlier on we are looking at other people, but not just other. You also need to focus internally on your own body or also on other people's body or in both internal and external. Now, this origination means the cause, right? We say the body, what's the cause of body? For example, 4 great elements, for example, breathing and some on the cause of body. So when there is cause, of course, when the cause disappear, then there will be no more. So they're passing away. And this part is important to show that anatta, there is a body. Okay? That means that it is not my body. Because if you meditate on 4 great elements or you meditate on any of the Kayanupasana, you come to the understanding of there is a body. It's not my body. Because when you meditate, if you have the idea of my body, my feeling, my pain, my suffering, then you have the attachment and craving. So you have to meditate until the point that it's very clear to you. There's a matter, there's a body. Okay. And this body is is on the 4 great elements. So this body is consisted of the 4 great elements. So that's the meaning of there is the body. It's not my body. Okay. And maintain to extent means that you get the knowledge and mindfulness. But I think remembrance is much more on also a kind of deep knowledge. And then he independent, not clinging to anything. So that's means that at this part, he reduced his craving. right? Not clinging and then no craving, no clinging. So this means that how he remain focused on the body in and itself. So this Pali you find in all the Satipatthana Sutta. For the Vedana will be instead of Kaya Nupasi, change to the Vedana, then Vedana Nupasi and so on. So it's actually Satipatthana Sutta is very profound. Okay, now after the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, then we go to the Visuddhimagga. So Visuddhimagga give explanation. Remember, Visuddhimagga is we call it general commentary to the Tipitaka. This means that it give commentary means it give explanation. Okay. Sister Xiong Yok Heng, you can read this.
Okay, Saji. Simile of the cow. Visuddhimagga para 30. What it meant? Just as the butcher, while feeding the cow, bringing it to the stables, keeping it tied up after bringing it there, slaughtering it, and seeing it slaughtered and dead, does not lose the perception cow, so long as he has not carved it up and divided it into parts. But when he has divided it up and is sitting there, he loses the perception cow, and the perception meat occurs. He does not think, I'm selling cow, or they are carrying cow and away, but rather he thinks, I'm selling meat, or they are carrying meat away. So too this bhikkhu, while still a foolish ordinary person, both formally as a layman and as one gone forth into homelessness, does not lose the perception living being, or man, or person, so long as he does not, by resolution of the compact into elements, review this body, however placed, however disposed, as consisting of elements. But when he does review it as consisting of elements, he loses the perception living being, and his mind establishes itself upon elements. That is why the Blessed One says, Bhikkhus, just as though a skilled butcher.
Okay. All right. So can you just sum up in your own word, Sister? You are Heng, right? Sister Heng. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. This actually is just to say, if the cow is still not cut up yet, then we have the perception that it's a cow lah. But then when it's cut up all into pieces already, then you cannot say it's cow already, it become meat. So it's same like for man also same thing. So we are actually made up of these 4 different elements lah.
Okay. So how are we going to cut out ourselves? So we can cut the cow, but how are we going to cut ourselves into 4 great elements? Huh?
So that's when we meditate lah. We do
Yeah, of course.
vipassana,
Yes,
we see the
vipassana. Right. Yeah, of course. So we are not going to cut ourselves into 4 great elements, but we are using sometimes we call it, if you read the Visuddhimagga or some of the sutta, they say, use vipassana is kind of like knife, knife. So we use vipassana as a knife, cut our, actually it's main thing here is the perception, all right? Perception is sanya, right? Perception, you call it sanya. When you five aggregates, there's a sanya. So there's one term here, you can see here. Sanya vipallasa. Distortion of perception, right? Perception, sometimes it can be good, okay? It can be bad, all right? It can be right. It can be wrong. Normally we say, right? For example, right perception will be anicca, dukkha, anatta, asubha, right? This is a right. Wrong one will be nicca, sukha, atta, subha, right? I hope we all know the Pali, right? The anicca is impermanent. So everything will be impermanent, suffering, non-self, and asubha. Asubha means impurity. But people see as nicca, permanent. So they see their life is permanent. They see everything is a sukha. They see their body is happy. They see the body belong to this atta, self. They see the body as beautiful, subha, right? So that's why it's important for us to get rid of this perception. So perception is called sanya. So this is Pali term is actually interesting. Sanya vipallasa. And how are we going to do it? Now you can see this one. The social compact into elements. What is this Pali? Okay, so it's like we call it there's a one Pali word Ghana. Let me check. Ghana or Ghana. Ghana. This one. No, this one. Ghana Bada, Ghana Bid. Ghana. Okay, I forget already. Anyway, this one part means we call it compact, or we call it a mass or group, So because you put 4 great elements into one group, then you take it as a permanent fixed thing, right? Because you see it as a group. So what we need to do is dissolve into element, right? Dissolve it into the 4 great elements. Then we lost this mass, this group, this compact. Right? That's the meaning of dissolution or compact into elements. Because if we see this, then you see it's a being, it's I'm doing this, I'm that. But if you dissolve it into 4 great elements, then there's no I. Everything is just earth, water, fire, and wind elements. So that's the meaning of dissolve it. Now, how are we going to dissolve it? First, we have the idea of self, right? When you have the idea of self, of course, you think that the living beings, there's I. I means we identify with the word I want this, I want that. Then things belong to me. So there's my atta, my wish. So remember, when you get angry, it's like, I want this, I don't want this. But even a child as young as maybe a baby, they will have the sense of atta. Okay, you can see the child why they cry. They don't like this. They want that. They want that. So the self, we call it, these ideas is happen since the beginningless samsara. So this is we call it compact, right? From the compact here, you need to resolve it into namarupa. That's the first step. Then for namarupa, you need to say what is rupa, what is nama. Then this rupa, what is rupa here? Rupa here, what we say is the 4 great element. So we say our body, so-called body, is this 4 great element, which is the topic here. Okay. So first from the self, divide to namarupa. For the namarupa, the rupa divided into 4 great elements. Then the nama you need to divide into Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Or even namarupa, you go for chitta, sika. That's how we break a mass of things, a group of things into a small pieces. Then you start to lose the idea of I and my, For example, when you say you get angry, so it will be sankara. You are not happy, so it's a feeling. When you see things, perceive things, it's a perception. When you see, hear something, it's a consciousness. All right? So this in terms of vipassana. But for the rupa, you need to break into 4 great elements, or earlier on, we say the 32 body parts. Okay? And so on. Now, there's another sutta mentioned just now, Maha Rahuro Vadam, advice to the Rahura. So this sutta actually very deep also, and Dhatu Vibhanga. Okay. Okay, now, Visuddhimagga actually, you can see on the paragraph 33, he quoted this sutta. Okay, next student, Chai Hun, please read slowly. I know you like to read very fast. Read slowly.
Para 33.
No,
Part
for
which-
how to practice it, yeah.
How to practice it. And as here, so also in the Maha Rahula Vada, advice to Rahula and Dhatu Vibhanga Suttas as follows. And what is the internal earth element, friends? Whatever there is internally in oneself that is hard, harsh, and clung to, acquired through karma, that is to say, head hairs, body hairs, teeth, nails, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidney, heart, liver, midriff, spleen, lungs, bowels, entrails, scotch, tongue, including brain or whatever else there is internally in oneself that is hard, harsh, and clung to. This is called the internal earth element. Paragraph 33. Hard, rigid, harsh, rough. Herein the first is a word for the characteristic, while the second is a word for the mode. For the earth element is characterized as hard, but its mode is rough, which is why it is said it is called harsh. Clung to, taken firmly by karma. The meaning is firmly taken, seized, adhere to as I, mine. And what is the internal water element, friends? Whatever there is internally in oneself that's water, watery and clung to, that is to say, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, spittle, snot, oil of the joints and urine, or whatever else that's internally in oneself, that is water, watery, and clung to. This is called the internal water element. And what is the internal fire element, friends? Whatever there is internally in oneself that's fire, fury, and clung to, that is to say that whereby one is warm, ages, and burns up, and whereby what is eaten, drunk, chewed, and tasted gets completely digested, or whatever else that's internally in oneself that's fire, fury, and clung to. This is called the internal fire element. And what is the internal air element, friends? Whatever that's internally in oneself, uh, there is air, airy, and clung to. That is to say, upgoing winds, downgoing winds, winds in the belly, winds in the bowels, winds that course through all the links in breath and out breath, or whatever else there is internally in oneself that's air, airy, and clung to. That's called the internal air element.
Okay, thank you. Now from paragraph 39 onwards are 32 body parts which we discussed earlier on, all right? So this means that if you think that 32 body parts are too much for you because they are very detailed, so we can just sum up them, categorize them into 4 great elements. How are you going to see? First, anything hard, harsh, right? So anything, because even though, of course, in all these things, like in your skin, there will be, of course, your skin, there will be water or whatever. But like I say previously, the main thing is still earth element because it's hard, harsher, right? So anything hard and harsh internally in yourself, all these body parts, you can categorize them as earth, right? So when you meditate, you need to see the hardness. Another one, of course, the mode roughness. Okay, when you see hard, then you see the soft. Hard, soft, rough, and smooth. Later we discuss how we meditate this. And all these are cling to I and mind, right? So this is them. And watery element, so anything watery, right? So this obvious, like bile, phlegm, and so on. So all these are any watery elements, watery body parts is under the water element. Fire element means anything that fire, when you warm, edge burns, okay, all this. So when you digest all this, is under the fire element. What is wind element? Anything that airy, right? So this actually among the 4 great elements, which is actually easier to notice, For meditator, that's why the teacher asked them to notice the wind element. Because wind element is much more, I would say, it's obvious, right? It's like the wind coming in, going out, or your belly is moving, So the wind actually is easier to see because of the motion. Okay, because of motion. Right. Now we see, this one we already studied last week. Okay, so it's good to revise. So 32 body parts, 20, you have 4 times 5 earth element, and then 12. How you get 12? Water element, 6 times 2, 12. So 20 plus 12, you got 32. All right, so we call it 32 body parts. Here is earth and water elements only. So 4 great elements. In detail is 42. How you get 42? So earth element 20, water 12, fire is 4, wind element is 6. Okay. Now fire element, all right. Fire element is 4. Okay, I think I put some way down there. Okay. What is 4 here? Maturing. Something like warm. Something that make you age. Right. So our body have warmness. You know, that's how they detect a living human being. Right. Now, if let's say go for better, they use a special machine and then they can detect the heat of the body. Right. So because our body has a warmness. And then we have something that in us make us aging. And something that when the fire is you have a fever, then you burn up. And the main thing is, of course, importantly, is we need a digestive fire, right? So when you put your hand on your belly, you feel that your stomach is actually, that there's a heat there. If you have gastric problem, you find that it's actually, you can feel the burning sensation in the stomach. So this is something that will digest what is eaten, what is drunk, what is chewed, what is tasted. And all this fire, right, is a particular component of this body. They are void, they are not living being. It's just fire. It's just a fire element in the mode of maturing, ripening, right? So it just happened by itself. What it's trying to say, this element, fire element, it's just a happening by itself. Even though we try to control, but how much can we control the warmness? How much can we control our aging process? You know, how much can we control our digestive? It cannot control because all this happen by themselves. Now, wind element is 6 here. So it's important for meditator, especially Vipassana meditator, to notice this one. Okay, somebody read the wind element. Sister Kahong.
Okay. Wind element. Having discovered the outgoing winds forces as outgoing, the downgoing winds forces as downgoing, the winds forces in the belly as in the belly, the winds or forces in the bowels as in the bowels, the winds forces that course through all the limbs as coursing through all the limbs, and in-breath and out-breath as in-breath and out-breath. He should give his attention to these 6 components in this way. What is called outgoing winds, forces, is a particular component of this body. Without thought, indeterminate, void, not a living being. It is air element in the mode of distending. What is called downgoing winds, forces? What is called winds, forces in the belly? What is called winds, forces in the bowels? What is called winds, forces that course through all the limbs? What is called in-breath and out-breath is a particular component of this body. Without thought, indeterminate, void, not a living being. It is air element in the mode of distending.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So there are 6 here. So you have the outward wind, all right? Like achu, when we say achu, the wind come out. You can feel the wind come out from your body. So downward wind, especially you fart, you let go the wind, okay? And you have wind in the belly. What is wind in the belly? Especially if you're hungry, you can hear the sound, cook, 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 all right? And there's another wind that help to push the food, we call it those in process, we call it old food, help to pass the feces and so on. And there's a wind that travels in the body, our limbs. So that's why in Chinese say when you say 中风, you have wind problem. If without this wind, you cannot even walk, cannot even lift your hand and do things. And finally is the in and out breath. All right. So all these 6 type of wind, you should see them. It's just a component in the body. Means that it's just anatta. It's not living beings. It's a void, sunya. All right. When we say void, is referred to void of atta. It's just an element by itself. So we should, especially when we're not vipassana, it's very obvious the wind come and go, especially when you're not the breathing in, breathing out. You notice that you cannot control it, just happen by itself. So when you achu, it just happen by yourself. All right. When you fart or when there's a wind in your belly and so on. So try to see this not only in formal meditation, in any time, any place, right? So among so many, this will be easier to note, right? So we have 4 great elements. So we see this will be not all we can see, the earth element, not all we can see, because some are internal part. Water element, some are internal part we cannot see also. But the wind element, we cannot see, the bowel, right? But we can feel in our belly. Yeah. Okay. Some we cannot see the wind, but some belly, yes. Outward wind, yes. When we achu, downward wind, yes. And then when we are moving around, of course, we cannot see the wind, but we can feel the motion in the body. So when you do walking meditation, in fact, you are trying to see the wind element. That's why people, when they have good concentration, they can feel like a wind, like pushing their hands, pushing their legs moving. Okay. Now, paragraph 84 is related to the 32 body parts, right? So 20 components, stiffness, hardness should be defined as earth element. Those in the water, cohesion is water. Something that make you mature, ripening is fire. And distension is a air element. So this in brief. This means that if 32 body parts is too much, you can just sum up 20 as earth, 12 as water. Okay, this is called characteristic in brief. Right? Now, he should pay attention to them again, adverse again, give attention to them again, but he only can get access concentration. That's the thing here, not jhana. This one. So if he try to do like just now, he do everything in brief. Okay, if he still not succeed, then he should develop it with characteristic of analysis. This means like go more detail, right? For example, he go head hair. Okay, head hair, he try to, means that he take one body part, head hair, he tries to see the earth, water, fire, and wind. So go detail, that is called analysis. Then after that, he take the like body hair, then he take the teeth, and he tried to see 4 great elements in each part of the body. So he tried to define again until the elements become evidence to him. As it adverts, give attention to them again. Access concentration arises in him by the way I described. Okay, so up to this one, not finished yet. Then if he want, he can practice more additional way of giving attention. So this one I copy from the paragraph 86. Some I think easy to understand, some not easy to understand. So according to recommendation here, there are 13 method, 13 ways. Word meaning. So this is more on the Pali definition by group. Like just now we mentioned, the 20 earth, 12 water, 6 fire, wind. By particles. Okay, this we will read some of the. Okay. Okay, what is particles? So these are 91, 92. All right, somebody read, yeah. I think this part is actually too theory already. Okay, Sister Wong, you can read.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Shayaji. 91. And here the fire element that cooks what is eaten, drunk, etc., and is the mode of the warming and has the characteristics of heat being established on earth, held together by water, and distended by air, maintains this body and ensures its proper appearance. And this body, being maintained by it, shows no putrefaction. 92. The air element that courses through all the limbs and has the characteristic of moving and distending, being founded upon earth, held together by water, and maintained by fire, distends this body. And this body, being distended by the later kind of air, does not collapse, but stands erect, and being propelled by the other mortal air, it shows intimation.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. And it flexes and extends, and it wriggles the hands and feet, doing so in the postures comprising of walking, standing, sitting, and lying down. So this mechanism of elements carries on like a magic trick, deceiving foolish people with the male and female sex and so on. This is how they should be given attention by particles.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. What you say is the 4 great elements, how they are helping each other, you know. It actually, I think this is an example here, simile. It's like when you see the puppet show, you know, you see the puppet show and then you see it being moved around by wind element. And of course, puppet show, somebody is moving it. So from far, because it's moving around, it look like real, you know. So our body also, because of the wind element, is have moving some motion. The hands and leg are moving around, right? So because of wind. Then, of course, in the body, there's a water element, so held together by water. Based on the earth element, because earth element is hardness. It tried to say the 4 great elements combined together, and we have the perception that a being, a human being is moving around, just like puppet show lah here. Okay. Okay, and then we read the 93. All these are actually, this part onward is a lot of theory. Okay, but I still have to read. Okay, Sister Sumita, please read 93.
Okay, 93.4 is it?
Yeah.
As to characteristic, etc., he should advert to the 4 elements in this way. The earth element, what are its characteristic, function, manifestation? Defining them in this way. The earth element has the characteristic of hardness. Its function is to act as a foundation. It is manifested as receiving. The water element has the characteristic of trickling. Its function is to intensify. It is manifested as holding together. The fire element has the characteristic of heat. Its function is to mature, maintain. It is manifested as a continued supply of softness. The air element has the characteristic of distending. Its function is to cause motion. It is manifested as conveying. This is how they should be given attention to by characteristic and so on.
Okay, thank you. So when you learn the Abhidhamma, normally all the elements, like even the Chitta Chaitasika, is always have this characteristic function manifestation. But here have no specific cause, right? So here only got three: characteristic, function, manifestation. So this is a part on the earth. This part is on the water. Then you have the fire. Then you have the air, all right? Okay. So, okay, I think we just read it. Is unless you see with a deep meditation, if not just go for theory only. Okay, we read the 94 and we stop. Okay, next person. Jen, are you here? Right, please read 94.
Yes, Sayaji. 5. As to how to originate it, among the 42 components beginning with head, hair, shown in the detailed treatment of the earth element, etc., the 4 consisting of gorge, dung, pus, and urine are temperature originated only. The 4 consisting of tears, sweat, spittle, and snot are temperature originated and consciousness originated only. The fire that cook what is eaten, etc., is karma originated only. In-breath and out-breath are consciousness originated only. And the rest are fourfold origination. This is how they should be given attention as to how originated.
Okay, thank you. Now, originated simply means cause, all right? So for origination, you all remember when we studied the karma, the rupa, there are 4 causes for the rupa: karma, chitta, utu, ahara. Okay, I think some are Abhidhamma student here. I hope you all don't return all your Abhidhamma knowledge to me. All right. So for origination. So okay, for example, according to what it say here, the fire that cooks, this means that our digestive fire is based on karma. So if you have good karma, you can digest the food. What I'm trying to say here. If your karma is not good or bad karma, you cannot digest the food. So this why in Chinese we say 可以吃饭是福啊. You'll be able to eat is your good karma. Because if you have very good food, if you do not have the karma to digest the food, there's no matter how good is the food, it will be wasted. All right. But breathing in and out due to our consciousness. As long as you are still alive, they will be breathing. If you have passed away, there is no consciousness, then the breathe in, breathe out will stop. So it's a consciousness originated. And some is originated by temperature, right? So temperature and so on. So temperature is utu here, right? So chitta is the consciousness. Karma is already mentioned here, karma. So you got karma, chitta, utu, ahara. So we call it fourfold origination. Origination means the cause. So 32 body parts, or in sum up, we call it 4 great elements, are based on the 4 causes like this. Okay, I think we stop for break, and I think the rest are actually a little bit, a lot of theory, but after this, we can still go for Vipassana point. So 5 minutes break. Okay. Okay, so we will continue. Now, when we say like this, what is say, for example, sweat. You can think about yourself. The sweat is actually, when we say these are the causes. The sweat is caused when your body temperature is when you feel hot, then the sweat come out to cool down the body. There's one thing you can think about that. And also consciousness originated. This one, you have to think about why you say consciousness originated. Okay. So karma is karma, chitta is consciousness, utu is so karma, consciousness, utu is temperature. Okay. Ahara is nutriment. Here it doesn't show nutriment, but our body is of course need to depend on the nutriment. If there's no enough nutriment, our body will not function well. So dung, pus, urine are based on temperature. For tears, sweat, spitter, snot based on temperature and consciousness. Means that they are caused by temperature and consciousness. What is a cook means our digestive fire in the stomach is by the karma only. In breath, out breath are consciousness, because as long as we are still alive, have consciousness, there will be in and out breath. That's the meaning. Okay. Now, all these are based on what we said just now. Okay. Additional ways of giving attention. So you can read more in the Visuddhimagga. So I only copy some. I think it's easy to understand. We already go the particles, how it originated. Now go for variety and unity. Okay, so number 6, point number 6. Okay, next student. Okay, Sister Chu, you can read this number 95.
Okay, Sanji. 6 or 5? 6, right?
Yes, 95, yes.
Okay. As to variety and unity, that is variety in the specific characteristic, etc. Of all the elements, for the characteristics, function, and manifestation of the earth element is one, and those of the water element, etc., are different, but there is unity in them as materiality, great primary element, state, dharma, impermanence, etc. Notwithstanding the fact that they are various according to specific characteristic, etc. And according to origination of karma and so on. Again, 4 great elements are elements dhatu because of bearing, dharana, their own characteristics because of grasping, adana, suffering. And because of sorting out adana, suffering, and because none of them are exempt from the characteristics of being elements. They are states, dharma, owing to bearing, dharana, their own characteristics, and owing to their so bearing, dharana, for the length of the moment appropriate to them. They are impermanent in the sense of liability to destruction. They are painful in the sense of causing terror. They are not self in the sense of having no core of permanence and so on. Thus, there is unity of all since all are materiality, great primaries, elements, states, impermanent, and so on. This is how they should be given attention as to variety and unity.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want to sum up? Not easy. Okay. Variety means difference, because all the 32 body parts or 4 great elements have their own specific characteristic, function, manifestation. All right, like earth elements have difference from the water in terms of characteristic, function, manifestation. So that's the meaning of variety. It's not same. But unity, what's the meaning of unity? Unity means same. They are same because they are lupa. They are same because they are Mahabuddha, 4 great elements. They are same because they are impermanent, suffering, non-self. This means that in terms of similarity, they are same. But for their own characteristic, of course, they have different function manifestation, as we saw earlier on, all right? Okay, for example, we say earlier on the 93, you can see their function not same. Okay, their manifestation not same, their characteristic not same on the 93. So these are, we call it variety. Variety means not similar. So you have to refer to 93. So same means, like mentioned just now, there are 4 great elements. They are impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Okay, they are Mahabhuta. We call it great primary means Mahabhuta in the Abhidhamma. Okay. Now, also, why you need to know they are impermanent because they will be destroyed. All right. They are painful because they cause terror. They are non-self because they are colorless. Colorless means they lack of permanence because they are anicca. So they are anything anicca means that they are not belong to this self, this I, and so on. That's the meaning here. So that's how we can give in attention, essence of variety and unity. Okay. Now condition. All right. So this another way. We can see condition. All these are actually kind of like theory, but it's good for understanding where it's called. Like you can see how 4 of them are related to each other. Okay, water element, the earth element, it will be held together by water. Because water had the cohesion. And then the fire will maintain it. And then the air means the wind will distend it. Right? So it's a condition for other 3 great primaries by acting as foundation. Right? So the water element is how it related the other 3. First is founded by earth because earth has hardness. So it maintained by fire, distended by air. And so is also the condition for the other 3 great primary by acting as their cohesion. So then the fire element and repeat and so on. So it's like just trying to say how these 4 great elements are related to each other in this 109. That's the meaning. In that means that's how they are giving condition to each other. So they are the cause. So that means that we call it 1 great element is the cause for other 3 great elements. That's a condition here. All right. So that's I just take as theory. All right. Now, this part, all right, 110 on the 12. So lack of conscious reaction. Hence, the earth element does not know I'm the earth element or I'm a condition by acting as a foundation for the 3 great primaries. And the other 3 do not know the earth element is a condition for us by acting as a foundation for the 3 great elements, for the great 3 primaries. All right. This means that the 4 great elements, they do not have the sense of knowing because they are lifeless. They are non-self, they are lifeless. Lifeless in a way that there's because lupa, 4 great elements are lupa, they are not nama, they are not chitta. So they will not know how they are elements themselves and how they are related to other as condition. So that's the meaning of lacking of conscious reaction. Because 4 great elements belong to the lupa, not nama side. So that's the 110 trying to say. 111. As to analysis condition, there are 4 conditions for the elements. That is saying, this one we mentioned just now, kama, chitta, utu, ahara, this one. So these 4. Okay, kama, chitta, utu, ahara. Okay, I think we read the 115 and we stop with the vipassana. So this is also theory. Sister Chai, can you follow? Can you join us reading? Yes.
Okay. At the time of moving forward and moving backward, the earth element among these is a condition for pressing. That, seconded by the water element, is a condition for establishing on a foundation. But the water element, seconded by the earth element, is a condition for lowering down. The fire element, seconded by the air element, is a condition for lifting up. The air element, seconded by the fire element, is a condition for shifting forwards and shifting sideways. This is how they should be given attention as to analysis of conditions.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this is about when you are doing the walking meditation. So for example, when you lower down, okay, when you're lowering down your feet, because when you lower down, so here is a water element seconded by the earth element, right? So when you lowering down your feet, it become heavier and heavier. So water element itself is heavy, earth element is heavy. So that's a lowering down. But when you're lifting up the feet, so there will be other two elements. There's a fire with the plus the A. Okay, because when you lift up the feet, it must be light. So fire, when there's fire, you know the fire when you burn things, it give the what you call it, it can cause things to fly out. Okay, A will be A also, of course, wind element will support the lifting up. Okay. And then when you move the feet forward and sideways, A with the fire. All right. So this part is much more on walking meditation. Okay, now we're on the actual vipassana. All right. Okay, on vipassana here, so 20 body parts, 12 body parts, right? So you can see as a three pair in the earth element, hardness and softness, smoothness and roughness, lightness and heaviness, right? So you can see this characteristic of earth element when you are doing the walking, sitting, standing. So you should try to see this characteristic. All right. So you can see this anytime. All right. So when you're sitting down, sometimes you feel the body hard. Sometimes you feel the body soft. When you're walking, sometimes you feel the ground is smooth. Sometimes you feel the ground is rough. So when you lift the feet, sometimes you feel it's heavy. Or when you lift the feet, sometimes you feel light. When you put down the feet, sometimes it's heavy. So try to see this, especially in walking meditation, because it's very easy to see. Now, watery is like we say, the water element is watery, right? So when you have anything flowing out, fruity, flowing out like sweat, or you feel the body is very sticky, so the sweat come out, you feel very sticky, because when you sweat, you feel the clothes is sticking to the body, so cohesion. The palm is very sticky also. So anytime to the watery is or you passing the urine, you know. Right. So you can see this one. Now the wind element, right? So in brief is motion, right? So like you see the leaves outside is moving. So also our body has something moving. It's another kind of thing is supporting, like balloon can stand up because the wind element in it. So in detail, there are 6. So you can see the Pali going out wind, like when you sneeze, when you achoo. So there's one wind. Literally, you can feel the wind come out from your body to the nose. So when going downwinds, when you're passing the wind. So the wind in the belly, where especially when you're hungry, you can hear it. Coo, 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 coo. And then there's a wind in the bowel, they're pushing the foot. There's a wind that go through the limbs. So that's how it causes the movement in the body. And then the in and out breath, right? So the Pali Udam Gama, Ado Gama, Kuchi Saya, Kuchi is the stomach, Kota Saya, Okay, and then anga manga anusari is in the causing the movement, and asaso pasaso is the breathing. So you can see this. All right. And then fire, of course, when we say in brief, you feel hot and cold. So this is a fire element. When we say cold, what is cold? Cold means that lack of fire. All right, lack of fire, then you feel cold. So you just need to note hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. All right. So in detail, you feel the warm, the body temperature, you feel aging, the burnings when the temperature body is higher. So you literally feel the body become more hot. And then the digestive fire in the stomach. So actually when you put the hand on your stomach, you can feel the heat, now you try. Okay, you all try. You put the hand on your stomach. Okay, you can feel there's a heat in the stomach, right? It's actually a little bit hotter compared to other parts of body, unless you have fever. All right. So 4 great elements is easy. All right. But the problem is only give access concentration. But you can practice in walking time, or even you go to toilet, or when you are moving around doing your exercises, or when you're eating, you can feel the digestive fire. Okay, now we go for another sutta. This sutta, I think we can see. So this sutta is good because the Buddha asked Rahula to practice letting go his craving. So this story is very interesting because according to the commentary, Rahula was 16 years old. So when he see the Buddha, he say, oh, the Buddha was beautiful. So he, as a son of the Buddha, also beautiful. So he was considered about the body. So when the Buddha knew his thought, then the Buddha advised him to practice this to eradicate his craving. So the Buddha in this discourse talk about the 4 great elements of water, fire, wind. So everything should be seen with the right discernment, with the right knowledge. This is not mine, this is not I am, it's not myself. So similar for the other suttas. And actually this sutta follow one part is actually interesting. He said, Rahula, develop the meditation in tune with earth. For when you are developing the meditation in tune with earth, agreeable and disagreeable sensory impression that have arisen will not stay in charge of your mind. Just as when people throw what is clean or unclean on the earth, feces, urine, saliva, pus, or blood, the earth is not horrified, humiliated, or disgusted by it. In the same way, when you are developing the meditation in tune with earth, agreeable and disagreeable sensory impressions that have arisen will not stay in charge of your mind. So this is how we should develop 4 great elements until we can let go of it, The simile given is very nice here. You can see the earth, the piece of earth. There are many earth outside. When people throw dirty things, the earth does not have any feeling, When people throw urine or feces, the earth actually has no feeling. So anything happen with the earth elements in us, we should just accept it. No matter it's a good or bad things coming in. So we will not be disturbed by it, and so on. Okay. And what's the advantage of this one? This bhikkhu who is devoted to the defining of 4 great elements immerses himself in voidness. Now, when we see this word voidness, it's not to say you go to empty place or whatever. Voidness, sunyata, refer to the voidness of atta. There's no self, there's no living beings, there's no that kind of idea of I exists. So this is called voidness. And it eliminates the perception of living beings. Since he does not entertain false notion about wild beasts, spirit, ogres, etc. And because he had abolished the perception of living beings, he conquers fear and dread and conquers delight and aversion. Okay, first, that's mean that at first he, like previously when people are having the perception of cow, but when they cut away the cow, they don't have the idea of cow. So if you after define the four great elements, you don't have the idea of self or beings or I. All right? Because you don't have the self of beings or I, then you don't have fear. All right? And you don't have attachment and aversion. This is we call it like loba dosa. Okay, love and hate, hatred, aversion. Then he is not disturbed by these any good or bad things, agreeable or disagreeable things. And because of he having a great understanding with great knowledge, he get nibbana, there's a deathless, means refer to nibbana, or if he does not get nibbana, at least he born in a happy destiny, means as a human or deva. Okay, so this is the advantage if you practice the four great elements. Okay, now, so we finish now. Let's go for question time. Right? First one. Why is it the meditation on the four great elements will lead to access concentration, not absorption meditation? Jhana. Okay? Because earlier on, when we see like Kasina will get to the highest jhana, Asubha first jhana, Anusati sometimes will not get to any it's just access concentration. Kayagata Sati first jhana, Anapanasati fourth jhana. Okay, Brahma Vihara can get for jhana also. Okay, and then Ahara Patikula Sanya also no jhana. And now, why is it Chatu Datu Vavatana also no jhana, only access concentration? That's something we need to consider. Kasina jhana, yes. Asubha jhana, yes. Anusati, no jhana. Kayagata Sati, yes jhana. Brahma Vihara jhana. But Ahara Patikula Sanya, on nutriment, no jhana. Here also Chatu Data Vatatana, only access concentration, no jhana. So the question is why? Okay. Is it because this is too difficult for people? Like compared to 32 body parts, actually is a lot. But here actually is not as many as 32 body parts, only 4 of them. Maybe because you need more concentration or there's not enough concentration. That's the question here. Okay, so you all can think about that. Okay, so number 2. Can I practice the meditation of 4 great elements in any posture? In 4 posture? The answer is yes or no? Yes or no, Thomas? Yes, okay. Yeah. Especially in which posture?
Yes.
Which posture you think is the best?
I think in walking it may be most easy.
Yeah, okay. Walking and yes. For Vipassana, the teacher actually asks us to do 1 hour walking. After you do 1 hour walking, you have good concentration and mindfulness. Then you bring the same mindfulness and concentration into sitting. So if you can see these 4 great elements in walking meditation, you also can see them in sitting meditation. Right? Yeah. Of course, more you can see more because when you're walking meditation, you need to walk. You need to open your eyes so you can feel like lifting, pushing, dropping. All these are very clear. Yes. So the answer is yes. Okay. Now, this one is it better to practice sitting meditation or walking meditation for the grammar? Actually, it depends. It really depends on people, because some people prefer walking. For me, I personally like walking, but some people feel too much walking. They find their mind is very scattered. Because they have to open their eye, they have to move around. They prefer sitting. When they sit down, they close their eyes. They feel that they have more samadhi. So it actually depends on the individual. Now the next question, do we have to contemplate 32 body parts to practice contemplation of 4 great elements? Okay, Chai Hun, what do you think?
No need.
No need. Okay, you don't like it. 32 body parts.
No, I mean, do you really have to contemplate 32 parts to practice? No need, ma. You just
No need.
contemplate on the 4 great elements enough.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So we call it like we just now we say, in brief, you can practice 4 great elements, okay? But if you want to do it in detail, you want to do it very professionally, so you need to practice 32 body parts. 32 body parts is only for the earth and water only, right? But still the fire and wind, right? It's not in the 32 body parts. Okay, number 1. Let's say if a meditator start with one element, does it mean that he can only concentrate on that but not other great elements? Okay, let's say he start with great elements. Because we say among so many elements, earth element actually is easy, right? So how about other elements? Can you start with other elements? What do you think? Sister Sumita, what do you think? Let's say, which element do you want to start first? Sister Sumita. Okay, I think she's not around. Okay, Sister Chong Patlan, what do you think?
Sorry. Can you please repeat the question, Sayaji?
Okay, so we have 4 great elements. Let's say if you start with the earth element, so do you mean that you just start with earth element, you cannot go to other elements?
No, I don't think so. I think we normally start with earth element because we are sitting down, that is considered as the earth element. And
Yeah, okay.
then from then we can proceed on to the wind element.
Okay. Okay, so when do we proceed? That's the question. When do we proceed?
I think when the mind is at a very tranquil state, then only we proceed from one element to the other.
Okay, so your question is, you think is when the mind is tranquil, right?
Yeah.
So we can change the other element, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
another
I
way
think so.
is, okay, so we change to other elements. Actually, beside this also, when the other elements are clear, or when they manifest to the mind, sometimes it just come by itself. For example, you sit down, you feel the body is, for example, you feel, let's say you sit down, okay, sit down, you feel that the body is heavier, heavier and heavier. Heavier means it's of element, right? After you sit down, then you feel the bottom become hot. Okay. So the fire element just appear by itself. So when it's obvious, you just go and contemplate on it. But when it disappear, maybe then you feel the heavier side appear, then you go back to the earth element. Right? Okay. So we can change either when the mind tranquil or when they appear to the mind. Because the mind, you can see the mind in Abhidhamma, it arises when there's an object. Without object, it will never arise. Okay. So the object will most of the time they will appear by themselves. Okay, number 6. Can we observe whatever arises without knowing whether it's earth? This means that the things come out. You don't need to label. It's earth, it's fire, it's wind. Can we do like that? Or do we need to label, okay, this is earth, this is fire, this wind, this is water? Do we need to do labeling? Or we just observe whatever comes? Okay, Brother King, what do you think?
Yeah, we can just without labeling, we can proceed.
Okay, so we just observe whatever comes, right?
Yeah, observe
Yes.
whatever comes. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, okay, yes. So we observe whatever comes, okay? Whatever comes. So you don't need to purposely kind of like label,
Yeah.
okay? No need. Or no need to categorize, Sometimes you want to categorize as earth and so on.
Mm.
So whatever just appear, we just make a note.
Yeah.
So actually 4 great elements is actually easier, much more easier. So when you feel hot, you note as fire. When you feel heavy, so you note as earth, but you no need to no need to think, oh, this is earth element. Okay. So in terms of earth, we can do 3 pairs. Any hardness, softness, smoothness, roughness, lightness, heaviness, all right? Or watery, something that flowing. Now, the watery means sometimes you feel there are 2 here. First, you feel it come out, like blood come out, sweat come out. Another one is cohesion. What is cohesion? For example, when you are doing the the rice powder or whatever, you want to make a cake, right? Without the water, it's just a powder. So you need to flour, okay? Flour. You put water and then the flour will stick to each other. So there's a cohesion here. Or when you feel any of the motion or supporting, so it's a wind element. So in fact, we can sit straight, or we can stand straight because of this wind element. The moment people feel fainted, actually the body will drop down because the wind element. So we have one wind element generated by consciousness. So as long as you're conscious, the wind will support the body. The moment they feel fainted or lost consciousness, their body will fall down. So this wind element. So any hot and cold or warm, all these are fire elements. So we just need to contemplate them as they are. So no need to say, oh, this is earth, this water, this fire and wind. Okay? Actually, it's very easy to meditate. And you need to meditate until you lost the perception of beings. So you need to see all these are 4 great elements. There's no I, there's no mind. Then you let go of the fear and dread, not disturbed by all the agreeable, disagreeable. It's just like the Buddha's teaching to Rahula, Just you have to think yourself as the earth, water, fire, wind outside, Like we say, beside the earth, like fire, whatever you put inside the fire, right? Whether you put the feces, urine, or dirty things, or whatever, the fire just burn it. It just do its job. It's not disturbed by it. Like you throw at the water or river, whatever dirty things or whatever, it just wash away. You don't care. Or you put things, the wind just blow on it. So it doesn't care whether it's a dirty things or good things. So that's why the Buddha's advice to Rahula is just make sure your mind is equanimous, right? Not disturbed by good or bad things. Okay, I think we finished the 4 great elements. All right. It sounds the Pali and then the text actually quite difficult to read. I hope you all read again. So next week we might discuss about this or we go for Brahma Vihara. Any last question? Yes, Brother Kong.
Saigi.
Mm-hmm.
First thing is on your notes,
Mm-hmm.
on your the advantage there,
Mm-hmm.
come out with funny characters. In your drive, it's okay, but when we download it, it doesn't come out.
You need
the-
funny character.
Yeah.
It
The
look okay.
advantage in 017 doesn't
Yeah,
come.
it look okay to me. Yeah. How about other student? When you print out or how is it? Is it funny at your side also? For those who print out.
My
It's
copy
okay.
Okay, so Brother Cole, I think it's your
Oh.
computer problem.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
because all these are text, there's no other graphic or whatever. It's just a text here. I think
I
the
don't know
font,
why I keep trying to
maybe you have to change the font. All right. Yeah. Change
change
the font.
font.
Okay. Change the font at your side. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All
Then
right.
the other
So
thing,
yes.
think on your question 6,
Mm-hmm.
say if you do not label, how do you if we don't categorize it,
Mm-hmm.
how do we relate it that this is not me, not myself? Okay? Because
Yeah.
later you have to have the right discernment.
Okay.
Because if
I
you do not
mean,
label it, you can't
yes.
categorize, then
Okay.
you just observe it.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be able to correlate it between the internal earth element and external earth element.
Okay. But the main thing is when we see whatever, like we say heaviness, which is earth, and we say softness, which is also earth, and maybe you feel hot and cold, hot and cold, or you feel sticky, or you feel motion. So you should just observe this, and you come to conclusion they happen by themselves. Okay, they happen by themselves. So means that you try to see them as a phenomena. It just occur by themselves. Then the moment you see more and more on this, then you start to have the non-self idea. Okay, that's why it's sometimes we don't need to label it's earth or water. Can you see this?
So
Alright.
the labeling is for people who need it only lah.
At first, yes. I mean, for training, you maybe not need to know. Okay, this earth, water, whatever. But the moment you already quite skillful in this, and then you just observe whatever just come out. All right.
Okay.
So that's why we need to learn theory. Theory is we call it theory. All these are theory. Theory support the knowledge. So we just need to know the theory, and knowledge support the insight. Okay. So you need to start with theory. You need to know, oh, this thing will happens, and then the knowledge will come later. And then insight is where we get the, how you call it, a kind of like thing in the mind, Then you really see this. For example, if you not the, okay, normally people do the breathing. When you know the breathing, you notice it come in and out, in and out, in and out. So it happens many times, and it happens by themselves. Then you get the idea, okay, who's in charge? Nobody in charge. Okay. So the theory will give you knowledge, and the knowledge will give you real insight. Can you follow? But
Yeah.
yes, we need to start with some idea of this earth, this water, this fire, this wind, and then the nature of the water is support. The nature of water is foundation, and the nature of the earth is foundation. The water is cohesion. The wind is supporting, and so on. That's in terms of theory. But in terms of practice, it's like you are doing the walking, sitting, standing. That's in terms of practice. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Any other question? We just do the sharing of minutes. So we stop here.